What if I told you that there's something about human nature that YouTubers have realized and started to capitalize on? And a few creators have learned how to use this better than anyone. Matt Armstrong, for example, is getting millions of people to sit through videos that are nearly an hour long, in a niche where attention usually disappears fast. Meanwhile, other automotive channels with the same cars, the same audience, aren't seeing anywhere near the same results. So what is it that he found, and what is he doing differently? You see, as humans, we're not really drawn to things that look too perfect or too easy. When something looks too polished or too complete, it's almost as if naturally we lose interest in it quite quickly. And that's the key word here, quickly. If you lose interest quickly, you don't stop, you don't watch, you don't engage. And on a platform like YouTube, that matters more than anything. So creators had to find a way to keep you watching, to keep you curious, and to give you a reason to stay. And over time, they've realized what actually works and what actually gets people to click. But before we get into the human psychology behind it, first I want to speak about why perfect content stopped working. And I'm talking about content in the automotive space. And if you really think about it, perfect car content started feeling repetitive and boring. Let me show you what I mean. You click on the video, see that the creator bought a brand new supercar, clean shots, everything looks perfect. But yeah, don't get me wrong, that looks good, but after a minute or two, you kind of get bored of it already. You already know what you're gonna get, and you already know what is most probably gonna happen. There's no real curiosity building up in your head. There's no questioning going on in your head. But you might argue that they put a car cover on the car, so you can't really see what car it is before they pull the covers off, and that might be a reason for you to stay. But think about it. You clicked on a video titled, "Oh, I'm taking delivery of my brand new Ferrari," right? And they don't say which Ferrari, but you have to click on the video to find out which Ferrari they got, and they put a cover over it and a big question mark, and you don't really know what Ferrari it's gonna be. But then you click on the video, you start watching, and then in the first few minutes, the car does generally the car gets revealed in the first few minutes. And once the covers gets pulled off, you're like, oh, he bought a Ferrari 812, or he bought a SF90 or a 296, or I don't know, the new Puro Sanguine. And that's about it. You already got what you came for in that video, and there's no real questioning or curiosity building up in your head, and no reason for you to really keep watching. And the creator might say, oh, stay tuned to the channel, or stay tuned to this video to see, my first drive, or stay tuned to see which adventures I'm going to be taking it on. I have an adventure or two planned next week, so stay tuned to the channel so you can see what I'm going to do with the car. But you're already able to predict what's going to happen next and what adventures they're going to be going on, because you've already watched so many creators do the same thing. It was getting old. And I think a lot of people started to feel this without even realizing it. Because when everything is perfect, there's nothing really that stands out. There's no risks, no mistakes, and no moments where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? And that's the part that actually keeps you watching. So over time, even though the cars did get better, the content itself lost its edge, and people really stopped caring too much about it. And creators started realizing this, and they started thinking, we need to think of a new way to keep our viewers engaged. And that brings me on to what we are seeing today versus what we were seeing a while ago. As I said before, the formula was pretty simple. You'd see a title or a thumbnail saying, oh, I bought a new Lamborghini, or taking delivery of my brand new Ferrari. And don't get me wrong, it was exciting, it will get clicks, and it was something that worked at that time. It felt quite exclusive, and people clicked and watched because they wanted to see something that they might never experience for themselves. But after a while, a lot of creators started doing this, and it started feeling too predictable. You already knew how the video was gonna go. They're gonna reveal the car, they're gonna talk about it, and then they're gonna probably take it on their first drive, and that's about it. But now compare that to what we are seeing today. I'll pull up two thumbnails so you guys can visualize what I'm saying. The first thumbnail we have is a creator revealing their car, or like what I was describing earlier. I bought a brand new Ferrari or Lamborghini, and they're gonna reveal it, right? And I look on this side where you see a crash damaged Lamborghini or Ferrari, and you see the infamous Matt Armstrong's face right next to it. And we all know who Matt Armstrong is. He buys crash damaged supercars, fixes them, and makes them like new once again. And now when you see these two thumbnails, which one would you click on? The first one, yes, it does spark a bit of curiosity because the car is like blurred out and there's a question mark on it, so you don't really know what car is gonna be revealed. So yeah, there is sort of a curiosity element in the first one. And now in the second one, you have this crash damaged car that, you know, this YouTuber is trying to fix. And naturally, when you see this kind of video, right, like there's a smashed up supercar and then, you know, his face is next to it and he's claiming that he's going to be trying to fix it, you get more curious. So you end up clicking on this video because there's a deeper question in your head rather than just, oh, what car did he buy? And for the smashed up car, you're thinking, oh, is this actually fixable? Is he going to be able to pull it off? How much is this going to cost? And like, is it going to be a complete waste at the end or not? And that's exactly the kind of uncertainty that pulls you in. That's the human psychology I'm talking about, that feeling of what's going to happen next. People don't just want to see the end result. They want to see the process, the effort, the mistakes, and they want to see someone earn that result instead of just buying a brand new supercar from the showroom. And yes, I know the person who's buying that supercar from the dealership did work for it and worked really hard for it, but the viewer does not see that. The viewer doesn't see your story, they don't see a problem, and they don't see what you've sacrificed to get there. And now with this video, there is a story, there is a problem, and there is something at stake. You're not just watching him fix the car, you're watching a situation unfold, and that's what keeps you there. Because now you're not just curious about the car, you're curious about what's going to happen next. And that's the shift, the power of the process, and that's why this kind of content always wins. And with rebuilding content, it's not just one video anymore. It turns into a whole journey or a whole series of videos. You're not just watching someone, you know, show you a car. You're watching them figure things out. You're watching them rebuild stuff. You're watching them solve problems, you know, step by step and episode after episode. Like for example, the first video could be on, you know, the car arriving completely destroyed. And the next video, they can, you know, start taking the car apart, you know, start figuring out the damage, or even worse, uncover even more hidden damage. Then they start rebuilding the car, and then, you know, next video they start ordering parts, and then the parts don't fit, or, you know, a part breaks during testing. Their focus changes, plans change, and video after video, you still there, tuned in, following along and waiting to see how they deal with it. And that's what makes it so powerful, because you're now interested and invested. You've already seen how it started. You've seen the problems that they faced. You've seen the delays. You've seen the small wins. So naturally, you are going to want to see what's going to happen at the end. It's like watching a whole season of your favorite TV show or series instead of just watching one movie. You come back for updates. You care about the progress that's been made. And when it all finally comes together, it actually feels satisfying. Not just because of the car itself, but because you've watched every step of the way and everything it took to finally get there. And when you look at it from a business point of view, this type of content makes even more sense. Think about it. Before, when a creator bought a supercar, that was probably just one or two videos, you know, revealing the car, speaking about it, taking it out for a drive, and that's about it. But with rebuilding content, as I've said, it turns into a whole series. One car could be 5, 7, or even more videos. Each one solving a problem and getting one step closer to the finished car. And each one of these episodes brings views, engagement, and revenue. So instead of constantly having to buy new cars to keep the content going, they can take one car and stretch it into a full story that people actually care about. And it goes even deeper than that. When you buy a crash damaged car, of course you don't pay full price for it, right? And when you're repairing the car, you don't always have to use brand new OEM parts from the dealership. You can use secondhand, refurbished, or even cross-referenced parts. And this brings your cost down even more after buying the crashed car at a discounted price. And it's actually insane how much money can be saved while using this method to rebuild supercars. It's a method that Matt Armstrong uses, and he's one of the biggest and most famous car rebuilders out there. And if you're interested in just how much he saves from using this method to rebuild supercars, I've already made a video on that and it's linked right here. It's a 7-figure number and you should definitely go check it out. But when you step back and you realize how much money could be made from this, and if you look at all of this together, it really comes down to how we as humans think and how our minds work. We are naturally drawn to things that feel uncertain or things that could go either way. And when something is too perfect or too predictable, our brain sort of switches off because there's nothing really to think about. But the moment there is a problem, a risk, or even a small chance of failure, we lean in. We want to know what happens next. We want to know what happens to that person. We start asking questions, we start paying attention, and without even realizing it, we stay for longer. And that's exactly what rebuilding content does so well. It gives you a reason to care, a reason to stay, and a reason to come back. And that's how they are playing with your attention. But it really works. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about the car anymore. It's about the journey. It's about the effort and whether or not it pays off in the end. You've already seen how it started. You've already seen the setbacks. You've already seen the small wins. And you've already seen how much it took to get to this point. So now you want to see the result. And that feeling, that need to see it through, is the psychology behind it. The psychology behind why this type of content works so well. And this type of content doesn't only work in the automotive space. It can be twisted, it can be manipulated, and the method could be put into other forms of content to keep you hooked, to keep you engaged. It's really smart, and if you're ever wondering why you're feeling this way, why you're feeling like you can't wait for the next episode, it's because of this. It's because of this method, it's because of this system that works really well. And I feel like it's a method or system that's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.